During the first phase of migrating from a port-based to an application-based policy, your firewall should log enough application traffic over a 30-day period to enable you to migrate or convert most policy rules. During the next phase, you will use the logged information to migrate or convert your port-based rules to application-based rules. In this demonstration, we'll browse to Policies and Security. Notice the inside to DMZ rule is a port-based rule that allows any application, as long as it presents itself on either TCP port 21 or TCP port 80. Begin the rule conversion process by clicking the up arrow in the bottom left corner of the web interface to view the Policy Optimizer menu. Then click the No App Specified filter to view only your port-based security policy rules. The firewall considers any rule port-based if its application field is configured as any. Note that the firewall reports port-based rule information only at the start of each hour. In our example, the inside to DMZ rule has allowed 2 applications to traverse the firewall as seen by the number 2 in the Apps Seen column. Click either the number in this column or the word Compare to view the list of specific applications allowed by the rule. The Applications and Usage window will open. The Applications and Usage window includes an Apps Seen pane that displays the list of all applications that have been seen and identified by the inside to DMZ security policy rule. Because some applications appear on the network at intervals, for example, quarterly or yearly events, choose the longest time frame possible. In the example, any time was selected from the list. The Applications and Usage window provides 3 options to convert a port-based rule into an applications-based rule. The Add to Rule and Match Usage options replace a port-based rule with an application-based rule. The Create Cloned Rule option creates a new application-based rule based on the original port-based rule. The new application-based rule will be placed directly above the original port-based rule in the security policy. We'll demonstrate the Create Cloned Rule option here. Start by selecting only those applications from the Apps Seen column that you want to allow in the new cloned rule. We'll select FTP. Then click Create Cloned Rule, which opens the new Clone window where you are prompted to enter a name for the new cloned rule. We'll use internal to DMZ-FTP. The clone window might also list additional applications that are required by applications in the cloned rule. After selecting all of your applications, click OK to add the new application-based rule to your security policy. Any applications added to the cloned rule are removed from the original port-based rule as seen in the Apps Seen list. In the security policy, a new application-based rule is placed directly above the port-based rule, which ensures that after you perform a commit, the application-based rule will match FTP traffic before the port-based rule. If the policy works as planned, then you eventually can disable and remove the port-based FTP rule. To finish cloning a rule, you must manually edit the security policy rule and modify the service to application default, and then perform a commit to activate the new configuration. Click a service name to open the service window. Select the services and click Delete. The rule will revert to an application default rule when you click OK. You can repeat this process multiple times, selecting a different set of applications each time. This process enables you to create multiple application-based rules from a single port-based rule. The create cloned rule method is the safest way to migrate rules, especially when the applications and usage window shows more than a few well-known applications that match the rule. Any traffic that does not match the new application-based rule hits the original port-based rule, so there's no risk of losing application availability. If traffic from legitimate applications has not hit the port-based rule for a reasonable period of time, you can remove it to complete the migration of that rule. Add to rule is another method to convert your port-based policy rules to application-based rules. This method does not add a new rule, but instead converts an existing rule. To use Add to Rule, click the number or compare in the No App Specified window. In the Applications and Usage window, start by selecting only those applications from the App Scene column that you want to place into the newly modified application-based rule. We'll select FTP and then click Add to Rule. The Add to Rule window opens and the selected applications are copied into it. If any of the applications listed in this Add to Rule window depend on other applications, then the firewall would open yet another window called Application Dependencies. This window lists these application dependencies. Click Yes in this window to have these application dependencies also added to the application-based rule. Then back here in the Add to Rule window, click OK to continue the rule conversion. Then in the main Applications and Usage window, click OK to convert the rule. At this point, the firewall converts the old port-based rule to a new application-based rule. To continue the rule conversion, you must manually edit the rule and modify the service to application default. Click Security to open the security policy. In the rule, click a service name to open the service window. Select the service or services and click Delete. Notice that the service reverts to application default. Click OK to finish. Notice in this example that the newly converted rule allows only FTP traffic on the default port. Any other application traffic that was allowed by the old rule would be blocked by the newly converted rule. The Add to Rule method can be riskier because if you inadvertently fail to convert any applications that should be on the rule, there is no longer an original port-based rule that will be able to allow these applications. However, this method is quick and easy to use to convert a port-based rule that has only a few well-known applications. Match usage is the third method to convert a port-based policy rule to an application-based policy rule. It replaces a port-based rule with an equivalent application-based rule. You should use match usage to convert a port-based rule only if the rule has allowed a small number of well-known applications with legitimate business purposes. To use match usage, click the number or the word compare in the No App Specified window. When the Applications and Usage window opens, click Match Usage to copy the entire list of applications in the App Scene column to the Apps on Rule column. The Policy Optimizer tool uses this application list to convert the rule to a new application-based rule. If any of the applications listed in the Add to Rule column depend on other applications, then the firewall would open yet another Application Dependencies window to list these application dependencies. In this window, you would click Yes to have these application dependencies also added to the new application-based rule. Then, back here in the Applications and Usage window, click OK to continue the rule conversion. To finish the rule conversion, you must manually edit the newly converted rule and modify the service to application default. Click Security to open the security policy. Then click the service name to open the service window. Select the service or services and click Delete. Notice that the service reverts to application default. Then click OK to finish. You have an application FTP, an application web browsing, all running on the application default ports. Remember to perform a commit to activate the new configuration.